Hello, this is Paul from Illiana Instrumentation, and today I am going to try to explain some of the features in the Honeywell video recorders that many people use for doing temperature uniformity surveys in compliance with AMS 2750. Currently, I have the video recorder wired to my little fluke calibrator down here. I'm inputting 300 degrees and the video recorder is reading right around 300 degrees. If it were not reading 300 degrees, I'm going to show you a method of correcting that using features in the recorder. So we're going to go to Menu, Configure, Setup, Edit, I/O, Sensors, and we're going to go to Channel 1, which is the one I'm using. And then we are going to scroll down here to a feature called Sensor Comp Multipoint, and if I touch that, it's going to allow me to create a table of corrections or offsets to the recorder at specific temperatures. So this table right now is set up to make corrections at 0, 100, 600, and a couple other temperatures down here. And this value over here is how much of a correction it is going to make. So in my example right now, I'm going to put some values in there that are going to change the reading on the recorder. So at 100 degrees, I'm going to put in 100, and at 600 degrees, I'm going to put in 100. So basically now if I put in a value to the recorder of 0, it's going to add 0 and it should read close to a 0. When I get up to 100 degrees and I put that value in, the recorder is going to add 100 degrees as an offset, and you'll see that the recorder is going to read high. So if I finish that and commit, it's going to take a second for the recorder to go ahead and write that information. And then I'm going over here to my fluke calibrator and I'm going to set it to 0. And if you'll recall, at 0, I put in a correction of 0. So the recorder should read very close to 0 at this point in time. I'm kind of out in our warehouse right now, not super temperature controlled. And I'm not really doing a calibration of the recorder. I'm doing a demonstration of some of these features. But as you can see, it's pretty close to 0. If I put 100 into the calibration source right now, you'll recall that our offset was 100, and the recorder is going to take the 100 that it should read, and it's going to add the 100 offset into there, and it's going to in fact read 200. And that's going to be the case everywhere from 200 degrees on all the way up to 600 degrees. So if I were to put 300 here, it's going to go ahead and add that 100, and it's going to read 400 degrees. So this is a method of calibrating the recorder. Typically AMS 2750 requires a 6-point calibration on thermocouple ranges over your qualified operating range. So if you were using this thing 0 to 1,000 degrees, you'd put in probably 0 and 1,000, and then 4 other points evenly distributed in there to do your calibration. Typically those numbers are just going to be a couple of tenths, and that's going to properly calibrate the recorder. The next feature I'm going to show you is how to put in compensation values that are going to correct for the fact that your thermocouple wire that you're using for your temperature uniformity survey is not perfect and in fact has an error, and we have to correct for that error. So we're going to go into here to Configure, Setup, Edit, and I'm going to go to Sensors again, and this time I'm still on Sensor 1, and this time I'm going to hit this AMS 2750 info box, and another option is going to come up here that allows me to do a calibration adjustment, and this calibration adjustment would be for the wire. So if you bought wire from someone and they said, hey, at 0 degrees this wire was perfect, but at 100 degrees this wire was off, and they gave you a correction factor of 50 degrees, which obviously is ridiculously large, but I'm just using it for demo. And at 600 degrees, it had an offset of 50. you could put those numbers in there, and that is going to correct for the fact that your thermocouple wire is not perfect. Now I have two corrections in there. The one correction, the multi-point correction, was put in there to actually calibrate the recorder properly. That second value that I put in there was to correct for the fact that the thermocouple wire was not perfect. And if you'll recall, I had put in a 100-degree offset to correct the recorder calibration, and then I put in a 50 for the wire. So now my fluke calibrator is set at 300, and I'm reading 450, and that 450 was derived from 100 put in there for recorder correction, and the 50 for the wire correction. So these are just simple math functions. They're linear between the points. So if I go down to 0 right now, as you recall, at 0 I had put in correction factors of 0 on both of those, so the recorder should go reasonably close to 0. And then at 100 I had put in a correction factor of 100 for the recorder and 50 for the wire. So basically it's going to take that 100 and it's going to add the 150 to it, and the recorder will settle in at 250 degrees. So to summarize, there are two features in the recorder that allow you to make offsets to the readings. One of the features is designed to allow you to properly calibrate the recorder, and that is this one down here called sensor compensation multi-point. The name's a little misleading, but it's this one where you build a table, and those are your 6 calibration points as required by AMS 2750. That is to correct the recorder, and the other one is to put in correction factors for your wire, and that one is put in here. It is called Cal Adjust, 3 points right in there. So there you have it. Hope that helps somebody out.